Abortion. Cool. Let's bring abortion up, shall we? This one always goes down well for everyone. Right, so Hollywood has been getting on its high horse. They can't even sort out their own homeless people, but obviously they want to look to another state and start harassing them about their laws. The thing about America is it's got its own states, and you vote people in your state to have your laws. The one state interfering with another state is kind of disgusting, really. It is, but what they are moaning about is the new heartbeat law in Georgia. So what it is essentially 6 weeks. Actors sign an open letter in March pledging not to work, which is bullshit. Loads of new films have just been announced there. There's the reality of what they announce, and then there's what actually happens. Which bans most abortions as early as 6 weeks into pregnancy. And this is pretty scary, man, because some of them are like, there's a thing where if you cross state lines, you can still be arrested, and that bothers me. That worries me a lot. It's not good. It's not good. And I will say this, the thing with America that really freaks me out is that you guys just can't fucking just settle down. You're so polarized on it. The pro-choice people are wanting to kill babies a week before birth. Literally, 20% of progressives say that an abortion is acceptable at any point during the pregnancy for any reason. And that is right up to the moment of birth. 20% of progressives say that. That's not progressive, man. You're killing a baby. But then you got the pro-choicers that go to just like, boom, the second that sperm goes in there, game over. You got a baby there, which I get. The argument for that is you've created a completely new strand of DNA. It's a new life. Yes, it is dependent on its mother, but it's a new life at that point. I get that. In fact, I get that extreme more than I get the first breath extreme. The first breath extreme is fucking creepy. You know, and further down the line, there's that idiot that made that video dancing about how great abortions are. Can we just get into the point where abortions are pretty bad, but they probably should be legal in some circumstances? Isn't that the reasonable, you know, the reasonable starting point? Like, can we all agree it's a bad thing? Be it 1 day or, 9 months, you are snuffing out a life that could have lived. Yeah, it's a bad thing, right? But it's acceptable in some circumstances. Surely that's it. That's the starting point. But we never seem to go from there for some reason, and I don't know why. Because then it is, right, what is the acceptable starting point? If someone's been raped, if someone's been molested, if someone's underage, surely that's one there. Okay, we can do that. Generally, we can all agree on that, yeah? And then we look at the time limits. 6 weeks to me is too soon, but it's also a perspective. It's also an opinion. You can completely justify it at 6 weeks based on there being a heartbeat and all the other stuff, and it being, certain organs are starting to form, all that other stuff I'm not going to go into. You can justify it. You can. It might be right or it might be wrong, but there is an argument for it there. I wouldn't agree. I know Hayden put it. I talked to Hayden about this, and he said, well, at the point where it's able to survive outside the body, which is an interesting one. That is a perfectly good argument to have. Perfectly good. But then what do? If you go in America state to state, there's different survival rates for babies born at different points. And what if you're wealthy? Is Hayden advocating for wealthier babies' lives being more important? Because if you've got more money and you've got access to better healthcare, then there's more chance that baby would survive outside the body. Dirty socialists that he is, eh? They're all like that deep down. They just want the money and the power. They want their babies to survive, but not yours. So the point is, it's all reasonable arguments, and it is controversial, and I get that. I do. But and I tell you this as well, there's no right answer. There is no right answer to this. I wouldn't necessarily myself go for go for the point where, because some people are saying 25, 30 weeks, you can survive out there. Even at the 20 week mark, 15-week mark, I start to get like, oh, but that's me personally. And a big part of this, big part of this is Alyssa Milano. I don't know why that's not loaded up because it was beautiful. Our reproductive rights are being erased. Until women have legal control over our own bodies, we just cannot risk pregnancy. Join me by not having sex until we get bodily autonomy back. I'm calling for a sex strike. Pass it on, you fucking idiot. So all you're going to do there... Because all the conservatives, all the right-wingers, all the pro-lifers, they don't give a fuck. They're not with pro-choice extreme weirdos like you. They're still getting sex. The only people you're cooking at this point are the people that agree with you. You fucking freak. And what really annoys me about this from Alyssa Milano is it ignores the argument. This is what really fucking annoys me about this. Yes, the lazy pro-choice argument is don't tell women what to do with their bodies, right? And that is an element, but that is lazy. To just say that is it's intellectually dishonest. It is lazy. It's idiotic. It's pointless. That's not the argument, you fucking freak. The argument is we don't give a fuck about your body. It's when are you allowed to, when is that baby not part of you, right? So when I come, that's my cum coming out. When that cum goes into an egg, it's at what point do we draw the fucking line? It's got really frustrates me that they're saying you're killing babies, and I've actually seen genuine pro-choice arguments saying no, it's a parasite. It's not. It obviously isn't a fucking parasite, is it? Jesus Christ. And we really need to start having this conversation properly. At what point is it a human life? At what point do you as a mother, or even the father that's part of the decision, at what point do we draw the line and say, no more. You can't kill that. That is a life of its own. That's the argument. That's the debate. That's the thingy of it. My daughter's 3. Am I allowed to kill her now? Obviously I'm not. So where do you come back to? Where exactly is the line? There's no answer to that. And that's why we have this problem. But yeah, I don't know.